Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you in another video. You know, I don't exactly believe in NPCs, non-playable characters. I don't believe in that. But let me tell you something. There was a lady on the train just now. I swear to you, she kept on saying the same thing over and over again, and her voice did that robotic thing that goes. You ever heard a robotic voice that kind of like distorts? Hers did that in perfect pitch. I've never heard or seen anything like that in my entire life. And we were like, me and the girl next to each other looked at each other like, did you hear that? If she wasn't robotic, I don't know how she did that with her voice. I don't know how she did that with her voice. And to be honest with you, she kept saying the same things over and over again. It was the strangest thing. And I'm like, what type of spirit is this, yo? She was arguing with somebody on the phone. But it made me understand after listening to her speak that she was actually speaking to herself. But she kept saying, thank you for loving yourself. And then she kept on saying stuff like, I won't have sex with you because I love it was just some weird stuff this girl was doing. But at one point when she spoke, her voice did some robotic type of distortion thing. I'm like, yo, what in the hell is that? I've been around a lot of different people with a lot of different mental states. But I'm telling you, if ever there was an NPC, there it was. Right there. There she was. Everything that everybody talks about and identifies when they say that, she did. Except saying the same stuff over and over again. The things that she was saying were contradictory in nature. And her voice did some robotic thing at one point. And she literally just distorted it right there in front of us. And so, like I said, I don't necessarily believe in that stuff at all. But then again, I also can't believe what I just heard right now. Like, literally can't believe what I just heard right now. But yeah, that was a hell of an experience for me, man. Like I said, I done dealt with a lot of spirits. And I'm not one who believes that there are androids walking around or anything like that. But if ever there was somebody who I believe identifies as an android, there's that woman right there. There's that woman right there. You didn't see me make a million therapy sessions. I ain't never talked about no stuff like this. If anything, I told you I don't believe in that type of stuff. But with that right there, that lady, that wasn't... I don't know what type of drug does that to your voice, man. Her voice did a robotic stutter. And she sounded like she went into the Matrix for half a second. And so, I just, hey, man, when I experience certain things, I will tell you what I experienced. And that's exactly what that was. A very, very interesting experience. But I just came up to, I decided to just get off at a random spot. Vermont and Santa Monica. I used to work over here. At Children's Hospital. I went here as a child a lot of times. It's Vaughn. I frequent that quite a bit. There used to be a Blockbuster over here and a movie theater. I don't know if it's still there, but like I know this area pretty well. This place called Circuit City. Circuit City's been out of business for a long time, but when I was a little kid, we go to the Circuit City past this Vaughn's down that street. Yeah, the Vista's still there. I don't know if there's anything playing there anymore, but it's still there. It's been there my whole life, obviously. Well, it may not be obvious, but that place is much older than me. But yeah, I went to a couple movies there as a child. But this was an area my mom and I frequent a whole lot. We went to this Circuit City a whole lot, went to this Vaughn's a whole lot, went to this what looks like a Crossroads trading company a whole lot. It used to be a Blockbuster. And it is not cold out here at all. And the Supercuts is still there. I actually went to that Supercuts once and found out they don't do nothing for my hair. When I was a little kid, my mom, when Supercuts first opened, we went to this one right over here. And they didn't know what the hell to do with my afro. They were like, nah, this isn't for you. That's essentially what they told my mom. Like, we'll try, but they had nothing for me. But yeah, man, it's just a blast from the past. It's kind of places that I've gone to as a child. Down the street around the corner was a Wells Fargo that my mom often went to a lot. And across the street from there was I don't remember what kind of savings store that used to be. Might have been Woolworths or something like that. It was called a Woolworth. I don't know if anybody remembers what a Woolworth was, but I think there was one around the corner where we used to frequent. I think that was the name of it. And then it was a Circuit City down there. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. My boy Farai used to live down this street. I remember one time. I don't remember exactly who it was I was visiting. I was going with my boy Keontae to somebody's random house, like back in the North Hollywood days. I was telling y'all about we used to smoke and ride. During that time, we had a friend of a friend who lived down this block, and unfortunately, somewhere on this street, the lady's brother had passed away that week in a car accident. Drunken driving, he wrapped himself around the pole somewhere on this street. And so, yeah, that had to be like 15 years ago. But that's what comes to mind when I frequent this area. I often think about them because he had died like maybe that day or the day before. It was like really, really, really recent. And I didn't know we were going there to console them because I was just riding around with a friend. But that was the vibes, man. I came in there drunk, and it was not necessarily the time for that. But yeah, man, it was back when I was a little kid, young man, I guess you can say, 20, 21, something like that. But yeah, man, rest in peace to him for sure. Never forgot that. I never forgot that. It's a lot of stuff I remember coming over here. When I used to drive Lyft, I remember I dropped somebody off over here. Real cool dude, was going to a dispensary or something at random. There was also some type of not movie theater, but a theater on the left side of the street. Vista is about a block and a half down, and I went to do some type of show that had Cisco involved in extra work. But I remember the benches there were like the hardest benches I had ever felt. It was the most uncomfortable sitting. I only got paid like $35-40 to do it for like 7 hours just sitting there clapping like idiots. But that's how they used to pay us. A lot of extra work, stuff like that I used to do all the time in Hollywood back when I lived over here. So yeah, all the memories over here, man, you wouldn't even believe it. Going to the Children's Hospital down the street I'm walking now. Working at the psych ward at the Kaiser over here, although this isn't as far down as I worked. It was actually this building here, I believe, in front of us. I think that was the building I used to work. No, that's the Children's Hospital. It's a block down, actually. But the Kaiser owns pretty much this entire block. And I used to do work at Kaiser. I worked at Kaiser during, I think it was like high school, early high school, where they had me working in the psych ward. I've probably mentioned it a couple times, but this is that area. And further down on Sunset was a place that me and my boy Lester used to come to. We were like 16, 17 years old. And to be honest with y'all, this was the whole stroll. Not far, this far down, but maybe about 5 blocks down from here was the whole stroll. So what we would do is walk all the way from Hollywood, come over here, smoke a little weed before sitting down, and we sit at the bus stops and watch the prostitutes walk by. I kid you not. We like looking at women, man. What can I say? We weren't soliciting them because we were too young, and obviously that wasn't right, but we would definitely watch the hoes and the pimp go by. I remember we bought some weed shake from a pimp over here. It was actually very good weed. It was nothing but shake, but it was good. Pimp sold us some shake. Just, you know, just mischievous. Too young to know that that wasn't something we should do, but old enough to be grown enough to want to walk over here and do it. So that was kind of how that went. And yeah, man, a lot of memories on Sunset. Of course, I made a mention Children's Club. Children's Club is about 11 blocks down. So a lot of times when I would go to Children's Club, we'd end up driving down here to Circuit City after Children's Club, that kind of thing. And so many memories, man, a million memories. It's University of Southern California. I don't think this was here. I don't think this was here. While I was a child, I don't think this was it. This was the Children's Hospital, yes. And I frequented this Children's Hospital quite a bit when I was little, especially during the time when I had measles and pneumonia. This was the Children's Hospital my mom and I often went to take me, and this is where we were most of the time, if not time, even though I keep saying obviously, I was not born here at this hospital. This was the hospital I went to as a child every time I got sick, and I got sick quite a bit. So the memories here, and I remember one time it was like 3 in the morning, I was sick, and my mom took me down here, and I won't soon forget that I sat in one of the seats, and underneath the handle, someone had somehow puked underneath the handle. So I put my hand down on the seat handle next to me and pulled up my hand, and it was full of puke. It was the most disgusting thing I can remember as a child. It was one of the most disgusting experiences. I had to be no older than 5. Yeah, this is that Children's Hospital, and you know, a lot of memories here, man. A lot of memories. And this is the entrance to that Children's Hospital. It's a big hospital. It really is. And I don't remember exactly how it looked to tell you how much different it looks than it did back then. I really can't tell you. I remember too much other than different parts of it. But yeah, this children's very well as a child. And you know, thank everybody who works there still. I wonder if any of those doctors still work there. A lot of times doctors do work there for 30 years, 40 years. Who knows who's still there, who would have taken care of this little one right here. But it's the truth, man. It's a train station. Excuse me. That's where you get your train, and this bus here, Sunset bus, turns on Vermont, takes you down Vermont. And that is over there. I don't know if you can see that very well. I don't think I want to walk up there, but that's where the children, that Woolsworth is, way over there. And what else, man? It's a lot of memories around here, man. My favorite Los Burritos, before Los Burritos became really famous, this was the one I used to go to a lot as a kid, ahead of us this way.
They gave me the gate, and I'm like, no, don't talk to me.
Yeah,
trying to rob you, man.
Killer King is down there years ago, but the infamous Killer King is down the street over here. That's a lot of people. When I say a lot of people died there. More people died there than were saved there, if you want to know the joke, the running joke. But yeah, man, that's that. And the Kaiser right over here. And this is the Kaiser I used to work at in front. And it was a psych ward. I don't know if it's this entrance. I think it's this entrance right here. There's a psych ward on God knows what floor. But I was there for about 4 months. I think this is the entrance to it. I don't remember. But I was there for about 4 or 5 months as a what do you call it? You can call it like a file clerk. Yeah, it was like file work I did there. And that's when I learned I did not want to be a psychiatrist. I don't remember if it's this building next to me or the one ahead. It might be the one ahead, 4760. I don't remember. But yeah, I did not at all want to be a psychiatrist after working with the psychiatrists that worked there. They made it very clear to me that their job caused them problems. Lots of mental anguish working with a lot of people who had a lot of issues. You got to be a certain wiring for that to actually be a psychiatrist, according to them. And I believe them. I very much believe those people. This is the boy. Here's how I'm fitted today. You've seen me wear this fit probably before. I ain't close these days, but I don't really care. It used to be a Subway over here. I think that's what they turned that Starbucks into. That's behind us. I believe that used to be a Subway back in when I worked here, some 20 years ago, maybe something like that. About 20 years, man. But yeah, man. Maybe more. 24 years possibly, because I think I was like 16 over here. I'm about to be 40. So like 20, yeah, 23 years, something like that. Wow, a lot of time's passed. But yeah, man. And then we would convene over to kind of do all of our, work because it was a high school program. So everyone would work in different parts of this complex. But then we would reconvene over there across the street and like have our little ceremony. As I was a big fan of cream cheese, bagels, and jelly on top of the cream cheese. Really, really good stuff, man. If y'all ever have a bagel, egg bagel was my favorite. Put the cream cheese on top of it and put the jelly on top of that. It was delicious. I used to eat that every day over here. Scientology spot, got a lot of Scientology in there, Hollywood. That was what that was. It's still there. It's been there the whole time. And then this building up here, that I don't know what quite the name of that building is or what it is, but it's also been there forever. With those little gold things on the top of it. Look like something from the Middle East. That's also been there forever. And I think they were working on this building when I was working here. This building here was actually being worked on then. It's a huge construction site over here back then. So they've since erected that. It's probably been standing for over 20 years now, but yeah, it took a long time for them to fix this up. So yeah, man, and there goes my Los Burritos. Like I said, I've been seeing more Los Burritos now in this era than I did back then. I guess they did well after the pandemic and franchised a bit more. But when I was a kid, this was the one we went to. I don't know if you can see that orange sign, but my favorite string tacos in the world come from places like that. String beef tacos. If you ever get a chance, I don't know if they still have the same menu. It's been a long time, obviously. But that is one of my favorite foods that I do not eat. Of course, I don't eat nothing like that no more. But as far as taste, that was it right there. You couldn't tell me nothing about that. It was the best string tacos on the planet if you asked me back then. And yeah, man, it's a church. That's what that is. Been with the church. And I know there ain't no train stations nowhere near here, so I better not leave too far out of the area. I'm gonna be walking for a long time, very long time. But there's a lot of memories over here too, man. A whole lot of memories. Just being in this area, you know, walking this area. They had a strip club over here. I went to a couple of times back in that era of my life when I was like 21 with my buddies. Not something I'm interested in today, man. I'm not a strip club guy anymore. In fact, I wasn't a strip club guy then. I just was going with people. You know, they want to go, we go. That's how it is when you're 21. Are we going? Okay, that's where I'm at. Not necessarily something I would choose for myself, but rolling with the pack. So, yeah, man. And then you walk further down, and you would get to my children's club, the place that I went to, the children's club. Now, this is, like I said, 7 blocks down. I don't think I want to walk that far, to be honest with you. This really is big property that Kaiser basically owns the entire thing. And have all my life. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. This Burger King been here the whole. Never has there been a time when this Burger King wasn't up. Never. For as long as I was a little kid, even before that, this Burger King's been here. So, and that church as well. I think that's a church across the street. That was that. And that Arco is where we went. We found the pimp with the weed. Me and my boy Les found the pimp with the weed right over there at that Arco. He was parked over there in his caddy or whatever he had. And we walked across the street, sheepish as hell. Didn't know nothing about nothing. Talking about, you know, we could find some weed. He was like, oh, I got some shake over here, youngsters. And we bought that shit too. We did. We bought it and it was some good stuff, to be honest with you. Oh, yeah. And this was where they was. A couple times too, on that little mission in this area. It was like a good couple of months where we would come down here like every 2 weeks and just walk around here like it was a place to be. We really did that, looking at all there was to see, and was it a lot? But you'd have to come down here after a certain hour. You ain't gonna see it now, obviously, but like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, we were walking these streets. Not getting involved in nothing, just sightseeing like dumb kids, to be honest with you. And went to that Arco. He was parked right over here. And I'm telling y'all, man, he sells some good weed to us over there. Really good weed. And I'll tell you right now, there's no way I would do that today. Ain't no way. And look at that. They turned what used to be a car wash into a weed shop. The irony. That's not a weed spot. And we were over there trying to buy weed over at the Arco. And all we had to do was fast forward 20 years and we would have had a dispensary right there. Now that's funny to me, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, that's some funny stuff. And that's complete irony. I wonder if that pimp owns that. Would that be funny? That would be hilarious. But yeah, that's where we were going, about it there, and now you can get it here. Very different times, man. Very different times. That is a weed shop. That used to be a car wash. Wow. We are in the world we're in, man. But that's what it is, man. That is the issue. That is no longer an issue. You don't have to go on the street and buy weed from pimps anymore, ladies and gentlemen. You can get it at old car wash. Trees Hollywood. That is funny as hell. That is something that was worth the trip for me. That was worth the trip. Now, how they turned that into a dispensary, I'd love to see. But it's a drive-in dispensary. The only one of its kind that I've seen in this life. A drive-in dispensary. Has anybody ever seen a drive-in dispensary in your lives? I have not until right now. But that is exactly what Trees is, ladies and gentlemen. Trees Hollywood is a drive-in dispensary. As you guys know, I ain't really smoking weed in this era of my life. I still love marijuana, I do, but I have no interest in smoking it while I'm going through what I'm going through. I just don't. I'm sober and I'm happy being sober. I'm gonna stay that way until things get a little better. Same thing I feel about lusting and all that other stuff. I'm pushing away from every damn thing that could distract my mind or take away from my energy. Just on top of that right now. But you know, somebody gave me a couple $1 million, I get right back to it. I probably smoke. First thing I do, probably buy some weed. I'm not ever gonna lie about that. I'm a fan. I just know better than to do it when you're going through what I'm going through and the struggles that I'm in. You need to not be not doused in different things that are gonna mess with your mind. So that's the balance, man. You get older, you just know better. You do better when you know better. But yeah, man, just down here in these streets, man, walking down Sunset Boulevard, not the strip. The strip is about 25, 30 blocks down. This is more so the hood, man. This is Normandy and Sunset. Not necessarily where you're gonna find yourself if you're trying to see things worth seeing. But it is a neighborhood that I basically had a whole lot of time in. I ain't gonna say I grew up over here because that's not accurate. But I might as well have, because I spent that much time on this side of the town growing up as a little kid. Yeah, man, it's a lot going on in this area back in the day. It's a Goodwill here now. AutoZone is still next to me. It's been an AutoZone as far as I remember. It was an AutoZone when I was a child too. Yep. The Goodwill, I don't think that was there. I do not believe that was a Goodwill. Lord knows what it was, but I don't think it was that. And this used to be a building. My mom's friend actually lived there for a couple seconds. I think it might have been a hostel actually. I think that used to be. I don't know though. Maybe it was a little further down, but it looks like it's a building across the street. Must have see over here. I don't know why I'm even recording really, but the Goodwill with cars. Oh no, it's not. They're not selling cars. I got self-storage in front of me, but yeah, man, just coming back to old places I frequent since I haven't done this. You know what I mean? It's one of those type of things where you're on the other side of town and you don't come back to places you frequent. No, thank you, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, you come back to this side of town and you see what there's to see. Now, I don't remember if this is the hotel. I think it says it's a family dentist, but back in the day, way back in the day, that was a hotel. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a very famous singer that lost his life in that hotel. I think it was Otis Redding. It might not have been Otis Redding. One of them type of dudes, Sam Cooke, one of them type of dudes lost his life in a hotel that either was this one or something that looked similar down the street. But I think it was this place right here. And he opened up his door and somebody shot him. I guess they thought he was with his woman. And I don't know which one of them dudes it was because it's way before my time. Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, one of them dudes. They lost their life at a hotel on Sunset Boulevard. And I think it was that one right there. Y'all gonna have to tell me because my mother told me the story. She had his name right. Of course, she died a long time ago. And she told me the story well before she got cancer. So I don't remember who it was. But I think that's the hotel. And it's now turned into a dentist spot. This Shakey's that's always been there. Went to that Shakey's a couple times as a kid. Yeah, man. And yeah, man. I don't know which one of them dudes it is. Which one of them old school black singers from the 50s, man. Big time, super famous one. I want to say Sam Cooke, but I don't know. I'm getting them mixed up because I know one of the dudes died in a plane crash. And another one was shot. And it's like a bunch of them dudes, you know what I mean, who were really famous in the 50s. And my mom was from that era. She was from that era. My mom had me at 38. And I was born in 84. So, you know, she was well past some of the stuff that people who have parents that were my age were into. She's more like my grandmother's age, what my grandmother was otherwise be. But then again, my grandmother, her mother had her at 16. So I had two women from that era representing. And we skipped the 70s and like the 80s era. Like my mom was already past grown in the 80s. So it's one of the type of situations where she remembered the singers from there. I don't remember which one it was though. Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, I don't know which one of them dudes it was. One of them lost their life at a hotel over here. And I thought it was that building there. This 99-cent store, neighborhood 99-cent store. This is club I used to go to, the strip club, this was that right here. Of course, it's something different now, but this used to be a strip club when I was a young man. Went here maybe 3 or 4 times. Neighborhood strip club, but the 99-cent store has always been here. That's been the same go-to when I was little. Same one. They never changed it. And so, as I grow older and realize they still own that property, I think that's pretty amazing, to be honest with you. 40 years later, they still own that. Yeah, man. All this stuff is places I used to frequent, man. We coming back home, basically. If I'm being real with you, we coming back home. Now, maybe that was the end there, because it's hard, you know what I mean? A lot of these buildings look the same. So it might have been something like this or something, where that singer was ultimately killed. But it's one of them buildings that looked, I thought it was like a beige building. I don't know which one it is, but one of them old, the 50s, man. I don't know which one it was, though. Can't tell you. But yeah, man, that's what it is. 99-cent store still there. America's Best Value Inn, I think that was still there. Yeah, that's probably the same thing. I think so. You know what I'm saying? It's frequenting old stuff I used to go to, man. Showing you the side of Hollywood that you didn't see, part 3, I guess is what I'll call it, because there ain't much to see over here. It's just what I remember. That's the most important aspect of it. It ain't nothing. This El Pollo Loco's always been there in front of me. I've been to the El Pollo Loco many times in this life. Growing up over here, that was one of the neighborhood of Pollo Locos we would go to. You know, I remember my homeboy Jesse lived over here. I used to go visit him. I think he lived either down this block or that block down there or this block down here. I don't remember, but he was in this area. We get off the bus over here, me and my boy Naeem. Shout out to Naeem and Jesse. And with him, we go to his house a couple times. We didn't go too many times, but during high school, my boy Jesse. Shout out to Jesse, man. But yeah, man, this is fun for me. Just frequenting the old neighborhoods that I used to come through as a kid and as a young man. Now the whole stroll was down here. This is really where the whole stroll was. Between that strip club and kind of this area right here, pimps would be walking up and down the street, chasing hoes, and the hoes would be walking up and down the street wearing little to nothing, getting in the car with the Johns. And me and my boy Lester would sit at the bus stop with our junk food and watch it like it was a movie. It's craziness. Just, I don't know what the hell kind of energy we was on as kids, but I never lie to you guys. I tell the truth. That's exactly what we would do. That's exactly what we would do as youngsters. Come down here and watch them walk by and get into all kinds of little stuff. Rarely did we see the cops over here too. That's the funny thing. They would not be over here. They just would not be over here. But yeah, neighborhood of Pollo Loco. It's changed a lot, but they still own the same property. Sunset Boulevard, man. That's why when I tell people I'm from Hollywood, you understand that I really am from that. A lot of people say they from LA. They really from different outskirts. No, I'm actually from LA. Like actual LA. This is that. And man, they keep putting up all these damn Targets. Where was Target when I was a kid? When we wanted to go to Target, we had to go to the Target in Inglewood on La Cienega. Now there's another Target up. You can't see it, but that's exactly what that building is on the left side here. Another Target, fam. Target. Why weren't y'all up when my mom was alive, when we wanted to go to Target every once in a week, but we had to take La Cienega and all that traffic? Where was y'all at? I'm telling you, man, I see more Targets around here than anything else these days. And we love Target. We just had to go all the way out of town to get to it. Not anymore, though. Rest in peace, mommy. But not anymore, though, man. It's Targets everywhere. You find one every neighborhood I used to frequent has a Target in it now. Hollywood got a Target. Sunset got a Target. Downtown got a Target. Like, damn it. Where was y'all at? It took too long for y'all to expand, seriously. Yeah, man, I figured I'd walk all the way down here. I think I'll turn the camera off because I don't know how long it's gonna take for the other one to upload. And I want to show y'all the Children's Club area and the Assistance League area, even though I know it's probably been torn completely down. But I'll just show you where it was at. Actually, I'm probably closer than I think, man. It's funny because I'm used to now walking more than I was back then. I would never walk this whole block. I usually catch a bus or something, but The way I am now, I walk anywhere these days. I'm just like I was when I was a kid again. Now I don't catch no buses. I'll walk from Beverly Center all the way home and back if I really wanted to. I've done it before. And back to that again. That's weird how my anxiety works, man. I tell y'all, I can psych myself into thinking I never want to walk down the street. Now I'm back to walking like I was when I was a child, getting 3 and 4 miles a day. It don't make no sense, man. Never did. None of this made any sense for me, but wow, this target is really huge. This is a serious target right here. Where the hell is this, man? I don't even know if this building was here or not. I don't know what this was. Western. What the hell was this back in the day? Okay, so look. This is where the children's club and all that was. It's just changed so much that they leveled everything to where I didn't even recognize it really. What this used to be was a Ralph's, okay? This was a Ralph's. And they had a Thrifty, also known as Rite Aid, in here as well. And before it was called Ralph's, it was called Giant. That's where me and Mom went to our neighborhood grocery store. And I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? That's what this property used to be, man. This was the what do you call it? It was a McDonald's here. It was something else too, man. Definitely a McDonald's. I actually remember when they built the McDonald's. That's how old I am. But yeah, this is crazy looking at this here, because I'm like, it's like someone took a whole big piece of your neighborhood and just threw something else on top of it and you don't recognize it. But there was, I think it used to be, if it's not still there, a Home Depot. I don't know where it is. And on the same block used to be the Fox LA lot, where they used to film In Living Color, what else? Living Single, Punky Brewster. Channel 5 lot used to be on this street. I don't know if it's still there. It may still be there. But this is where the Ralph's was. And I am tripping because I'm looking across the street like, what the hell? So this used to be a Builder's Emporium right here. If I'm not mistaken, Builder's Emporium here was here for a long time. Then they turned into the shoe spot before I left. So I'm familiar with that. This was my neighborhood Giant / Ralph's / McDonald's / Thrifty. This is what this is. And they just did all kinds of other stuff with it. My God, did they do a lot of stuff with this, man. I wonder how long this has been up. And I'm telling y'all, this is crazy. But that's what this was, man. This was a grocery store. That's what it was. Ralph's and Giant. And this has been up for a while though. This was up before I left. The shoe store place, I think that was up before I did leave this area. And there was something called, what else was over here? It was a Osco that turned into whatever the hell they changed Osco into, CVS. I think that's what they called Osco back in the day. It was a Carl's Jr. that I went to a million times that was also here. As we approach St. Andrews, that's where that is. That's the next street ahead. But man, this wasn't even here 5 years ago, y'all. This was not here at all. All of this is just crazy to me. There's a Foot Locker over here. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. You talk about changing neighborhood, fam. They turned my whole neighborhood into something entirely different that I do not recognize. Okay, so the Home Depot's still there. St. Andrews Place is where the children's club was, and all these different places that I used to frequent when I was a kid. And I'm turning down this street and I realize they leveled all of that to turn it into this. Wow, this was the Assistance League of Children's Club over there where that big Audience Bloom place is. They turned that into a whole different thing. That used to be where my children's club was. I barely recognize where I'm at, honestly, even though I know this street as any street I've ever known in my life because of how frequent I went down these streets. But they leveled the whole thing and erected something entirely different, an entire property, and I barely recognize it. Barely recognize it, yo. In fact, I don't recognize this. I don't recognize this at all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I don't recognize it. But I know this is Assistance League area. This was definitely still the Ralph's. And you know, when they built this Home Depot, the old club, we used to call the old club, was over here. Okay, so that is the Assistance, okay, let me try to get my head together because I'm tripping on what I'm seeing. let me get my head together. All right, where I'm walking right now is going to be where the original Assistance League place was. I'm gonna show y'all where it is. Old club. The new club, rather. The new children's club was right here. They built Audience in Bloom or whatever they call it. That was not there. That was children's club. And this right here, these buildings down there, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in this area used to be the daycare center. I think that's what this was. I'm gonna turn down here and try to see if I make some sense of this. This building over here across the street was also owned by the same Assistance League. It's the same building. They still have that up. I don't know what's now there, but we used to go across the street over there for different types of testing. We also did some anger management stuff over there too for my mom. But this is a trip for me, y'all. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. But I think this used to be, and I'm pretty damn sure this used to be the old daycare center I used to go to. I'm pretty sure this is it. I don't recognize it, but maybe, maybe. Hard to tell. But I think this was the Assistance League. I don't remember what they called it. But yeah, this is that, I think. And then down the Longpre was where the new club was, which they've now erected this entire building, which is unfreaking real to me, man. Unreal. How they turned this, for which was children's club and God knows what else, because my memory doesn't serve me, into this massive, massive apartment building. And it's just weird. I don't know how long it took them to build this, but I was over here last about 6 years ago, maybe a little less than that. And the children's club was being torn down. So wow, man, this is crazy. When I say this is crazy, this is nuts. This is where children's club used to be, and I remember when they built that. And now they got this leasing spot, Audience in Bloom. But this was the entrance to the children's club, the new club, not the old one, the new one. And so I used to come over here after school. I remember when the place opened up, we did like a whole opening thing. But this was like the entrance here. Of course, it's obviously not that anymore, but yeah, this is where the children's club entrance used to be. And go in here. And in the old club, what we used to call the old club was in that property over there before they built Home Depot. I think somewhere over there. I don't remember how that went. But this is crazy. They tore down all the Assistance League stuff and built this massive, massive apartment building, y'all. For somebody, this is really, really trippy, man. Like the street's the same, but they leveled every damn thing, man. Every damn thing. And of course, homeless encampments, way have always been there. I mean, like always, man. I just wish I wasn't fair. I think that the old club was on the other side of the property over there, on the other side of that away. I think the old club was across the way over there. But man, oh man, does this look different to me. And now they got a parking lot over here. This wasn't nowhere near a parking lot. This was a building, and you could never see across the way. This curve, you could never see straight through there. This is the first time I've ever been able to see that. This is a damn trip, man. Man, oh man, oh man, they changed this place so much. So this was the new club, also known as, the new children's club that they've since torn down. Spent a lot of my childhood here. They kicked me out of here when I was like 15 years old. And a lot of great memories apparently here. Definitely ain't here, but on this street. And I'm shell-shocked, man. I'm shell-shocked. I turned my whole neighborhood into something different. Barely recognize it. I think that was the original club. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the children's club was down that way, where we just came from, where I was looking at those buildings and said, I think this is the old daycare center, because the daycare center and the children's club were like next to each other. I think that's how they went. Yeah, they were right next to each other. So it was down St. Andrew's Place, and it was in this whole property too. They turned the new club further back this way, but the old club used to be down this street right next to the Assistance League. So I think that's how that went. Either it was over here, and either it was over this way, or it was here. I don't remember. As many times I went down this street, it's been so many years that it's hard to remember where the old club was. The new club was behind us for sure. And I know the daycare center was over here. I know that. The daycare center was over here. But where the club was, the one that I grew up on, I think it might have either been right next to it right here or down here on this side. I'm not sure. Don't remember. It's been too many years. It's hard to remember. But I know for a fact, this is the block I used to go down to get to the daycare center. I do believe that's the daycare center, but this might also be the old club. The old children's club might have actually been here, right in front of me. I don't damn remember, man. I don't remember. I really don't remember. And I want to remember. But I know this block. I know this block like I know myself, man. It just ain't the same. It just ain't what it was. But I think this is the entrance to the daycare center. And so if this is the entrance to the daycare center, then the children's club was probably either right here or further up the block where the Home Depot is. I think that's how that went. It was probably about a Home Depot. Excuse me. Man, oh man, I'm tripping out. This was not what I was expecting to see here. I did think they had torn down the children's club, the new club, but I did not know they had erected so much different stuff over here, man. So much different stuff. So yeah, that Target encompasses not only the property with the supermarket, but it also encompasses all of the old Osco, Carl's Jr. warehouse, which is where you used to buy your music. That was over here on the corner here. It encompasses all of that. It took up the whole damn 2 rows of property. This is crazy, man. How you doing? So yeah, man, this is it. This is where it is. Some of these people probably still walk around here when I was a kid. They probably are. Because that's how it is in neighborhoods like this. People don't ever leave, man. They really don't. I probably would have never left if I didn't have to grow up and get out of here. But this is how it goes, man. These neighborhoods, they stay the same, man. Even though the property changes, the people, they don't. They really don't. So yeah, I don't remember where the children's club was, to be honest with you. Look, I almost dropped that. I don't remember where that was. But it's a beautiful thing, man. We are on St. Andrew's Place, where I grew up. I don't know if I ever told y'all, Spanish. I think I did say this on camera once, but there was a Spanish news station. I think it was a news station across the street. And one time I came over here, you saw nothing but body bags. All in that area, all down that way. Nothing but body bags. And this was back in like 1989. This was really early. But this is what this property used to be. It's a Mexican food plate, Mexican news station or TV station or something. And I don't know what happened over here, man. But one day my mom was taking me to Children's Club, and we looked down that block, and it wasn't nothing but body bags. At least 7, 8 people. At least 7 or 8. I don't know what the hell happened. But not long after that, that place was demolished and turned into something else. And this is my neighborhood Burger King. Now, I told you guys several times that I would go to Burger King and get these big old sandwiches and put fries in them, the double Whopper and then I put fries inside of it and eat it, and it would be like this thick. This is where I would go. And this was the laundromat that my mother and I often went to. Although it don't look nothing like that anymore. That 7-Eleven wasn't there. That was like some type of connected grocery store type thing that came with the laundromat. But that Burger King is still there, obviously. And that is of the massive ass sandwiches. They were good as it gets. The best hamburgers you ever want in your life. Don't eat like that no more, but man, oh man, was those delicious. And so yeah, man, this is what it is. Dunes has always been here. And that RDB, that used to be, oh no, the one next to it, that Dream Safe Bar, that used to be a Denny's. Either that or the Denny's was across the street. I don't remember. But I think this was where it was. Repair Design, I think that's where it was. I think so. Either way, one time we went in there, we swore we were discriminated against. They were serving everybody but our black asses. and the black people who were in there with us. Seriously. Like there was a night where we went in there and the only people who were waiting to get their food were black people. New people were sitting down, eating, getting up, and then coming in, sitting down, eating, and getting up. We watched a whole cycle of 2 tables while we sat there for 45 minutes, and they wouldn't serve us. They just wouldn't serve us. I don't think that place was up for a couple more years after that. But then they ended up having a running like campaign that was understood that had happened in Denny's. Like it was said that this is what Denny's had been doing, and we were like, yo, we went through that. It was crazy. I think the Denny's was actually over there. It was over there, not here. I think it was there. That's where that Denny's was, I believe. I don't remember. But yeah, man, it was somewhere over here, and they would not serve us. They just would not serve us. And we used to go to that Denny's all the time, so it was kind of weird. I guess they changed management, and that's when the racist management came in and made it a point to just treat all the black people bad. But that was a real thing. That was an actual real thing. And my mom got on, she told some of the people at her job that this happened. And she worked as a Fox lot. She worked at the Wave radio station, which we're gonna walk by in a minute. It's long gone, of course, but you know, she told them. She was like, look, this is what we experienced. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, some of her DJ buddies actually started the campaign telling people that this was happening, and then the investigation came after that. I don't know if this is the case or not, I don't know. But it seems to me that's how that went. That was the Fox. This was Fox. In living color. Martin, they used to come over here and film, and that's where my mom used to work. You would be able to see it, erect, say it, KTTV. That's what it was, Channel 11. And then the Channel 5 is still there, but this was what that was past the freeway. And my mom worked there for many, many years. While I was a little kid, that's where she worked. It made it very easy for her to pick me up from school, from a children's club behind us, because she worked so close. But that was the Fox lot. I don't know who owns that property now, but there's a big building in front of us. I believe that was what it was, past the freeway. And on this street that's coming up on Van Ness, my mom almost got into a car accident with, believe it or not, Jim Carrey. He was in some type of bucket back when he was first getting started working on In Living Color. The first couple years In Living Color was being filmed. He came out of that lot and he was rushing, and I think he almost, for whatever reason, he was gonna run the light or something, and my mom was coming this way. He was going this way. He was coming from the left side of this street, and they barely missed one another. Smile, and when she realized it was him, she looked, what the hell? Because she was familiar with them guys. That was the funny thing about it. She loosely knew Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, the Wayans' sister often talked to my mom. She actually was acquainted with her. Because they all would film here. First got started. They all filmed here. David Allen Greer, all those people that was on In Living Color, they was familiar with my mom because my mom worked at the receptionist desk. And in order to get in the elevator, they would go past my mom every morning. So that's how that went. So this was the Fox lot, y'all. This is it. Where my mom worked for many years. Many, many years. They turned into something else, obviously, many times over, but Fox lot. And then that Channel 5 in front of us has always been there. That ain't never not been Channel 5. But this is it, man. Around here, believe it or not. This is where she was. And it was the Wave, KTWV The Wave, and KTTV Los Angeles, Channel 11 Fox. That's what this was, y'all. That's what this was many, 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 many years ago. And this building's always been here. That building's always been there. Looks the same, man. But that's what this used to be. And then the KT always been here. Always been here. As long as I've been on Channel 5, and it always looked like this. My boy Lester actually was a security guard here for a little while. For a brief minute. When we were like getting out of high school, he was a security guard at this lot. A lot of memories in this area, I'm telling y'all. This is where I grew up. This is where it really was. Circa 1988 through 1996. Yeah, something like that. This is where I spent most of my time as a kid. On these blocks right here, with all of this stuff around here. And even before that, for my mom, when she worked here, she worked there before I was born. Believe it or not, that used to be a rock station. I don't know what it was called. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but my godfather, Rick Reese, salute Rick Reese, he worked with my mom there and used to talk to me in the belly every morning. Every day leading up to my birth. That man would say hello to me in the belly. And that's how I guess I became musically inclined, because my mom worked in these stations, and in the belly as I was being cultivated, there was music blasting at all times. So I think that's kind of how that worked for me. Plus she was a singer too, so I had it naturally. But I mean, I would probably, she said that I would kick when certain songs would come on in the rock station, and would move a certain way when certain songs came on. She could tell the difference between songs I liked and didn't before I was even born, because she could tell how I was reacting to certain songs, since they play the same music over and over again. It's the truth, man. Definitely the truth. And that's always been there. I don't know what this is. I don't remember what it used to be. I have no idea, but it looks kind of cool, doesn't it? I don't remember what was here. But yeah, man, this is my neighborhood. This is where I grew up. Was about, for me, it was over here, Bronson, Sunset, St. Andrew's Place, all the streets over here, man. This is it, coming up and down Sunset as a child. You know, there's an Arby's over here somewhere. I don't know where the hell that Arby's is. They're probably still here, to be honest with you. Arby's will never disappear, not really. I don't know who actually goes to Arby's keeping this. There it is, it's still there. I knew it wasn't gone. I would have bet all of my dollars that Arby's was still there. Why? Because Arby's gets money from somewhere. I don't know who goes there. Nobody really likes Arby's. But that Arby's has been there my whole life. My entire life, y'all. This Arby's has been erect. I am 39 years old, and this Arby's has always been here, yo. Always. They look just like this, too. Nothing's changed. Nothing at all. And every time I went in there, with the exception of a chicken sandwich that they had that was all right, I hated the meals. Always sucked. Every last one of them. They always sucked, man. The only time I actually liked that chicken sandwich that they had, they put ham on the chicken sandwich, was like a chicken melt ham type of thing. It's the only thing I ever. This place is nasty as hell, I swear to God. But everybody knows that they're gonna own that property. They're gonna own that property till the end of time. I promise you, if nothing else is on this block, that Arby's is gonna be right there. I guarantee it. It has out-survived everything. I don't know how to make the money. I really don't. Now, this used to be a spaghetti factory. That's what this used to be. This was the spaghetti factory. I went there a couple times. Pretty good spaghetti there. I really liked the inside of that place when I was a kid. Really nice restaurant. Very, very nice restaurant. Since gone, but that was my spaghetti factory. I probably went there about 5 or 6 times. Yep. Spaghetti factory. And what else, man? What else? There was a Staples somewhere down there, a couple blocks down. I'm pretty sure it's probably gone, but that's what used to be down here. I know I'm running out of space. Ain't no way I'm not running out of space. This thing will cut off any minute now. But Technicolor's always been there, right ahead of us. See it as of yet, but this Technicolor has always been there. I think it's always been there, or at least it's been there for a long time. And you know, just remember a lot of stuff over here. This building, I remember this building here. It's still the same building. God knows what it used to be. I don't remember. I think they used to fix printers here or something. I don't remember. I think that's what it was, like a printer shop or something. God knows if I remember. But yeah, man. Memories, supreme and utter memories that last a whole lifetime, man. And I haven't walked these blocks like this in so many years. So many freaking years. Alms, that hotel has always been there. Always been there. I told you guys, it wasn't gonna be no train station for a long way. I passed the train station down there on Western, so I think the next one is like Hollywood and Vine, maybe. Unless they've built another one that I'm not familiar with, I think. But we coming up on Gower, and Gower was the street where all that horrible stuff happened I was telling y'all about. So that's like up maybe about 3 blocks up or 4 blocks up. All of the stuff